Hello,
Hi.
hello. Welcome.
Back.
Did we switch it up? Do you normally say welcome?
No, you always say welcome.
I do.
No, I think like in the last episode I said welcome for some reason.
I feel like I'm used to saying back.
Welcome,
Wait, but now I'm
back,
gaslighting myself.
No, I think you always said it. But last episode I think I switched it up for some reason.
You know what? We just like to keep people on their
I'm gonna
toes.
see last episode. I think.
Are we gonna have a live listen to the last ATC?
Can you imagine? We have a whole episode of just us reacting to our past episodes.
That's low-key so fun. Why do I kind of want to do that?
That's
Do the people
hilarious.
want that?
Did
no.
people want that? Let us know. Okay,
Everyone's
wait.
like, actually,
The
don't.
last episode. This is episode 40. Classic.
We talked for a while.
What the flip? We're so obnoxious. Wait, I missed it. Okay, yeah, no, you're actually so obnoxious. Why didn't you listen to us? Okay.
Right, so it doesn't really.
Okay, I don't think I'm gonna get it. Okay, guess we'll never know. Goodbye.
That was crazy. Mia's still listening to it. She lied.
Because I'm actually so curious.
I thought they stopped counting at 2. She stopped at... I thought they stopped...
Yeah.
We get it.
We both just stopped.
Yeah.
Anyways, here we are. Welcome.
I did say welcome.
Oh my gosh.
But I think every other time you said it, so I don't know why I switched it up. That was my bad.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to like
Every single one of them. We should
Whoa.
make a compilation.
welcome.
Back.
Anyway, guys.
Anyway.
Hi.
Hi.
If you listen to our entire Yap Libs episode, you're a real one for that.
I'm telling you, that was wild.
I get a little bit of secondhand embarrassment from that.
I do too. I have to really just listen to it in private and
I can't admit that I like it
no.
in public.
No.
Not to the people.
Not to the people. You just
Behind
gotta,
closed doors is a
it's
different
like a
story.
guilty pleasure, honestly.
Definition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just have some time to yourself and really lock in.
So, we're here now. We actually have like a legitimate topic to talk about.
Instead of random online
Ad-libbing,
things.
improv. Do we have a very
Speaking
set...
of improv,
Oh,
I want to share this discovery I just had before we hit record.
no. Yeah.
Yeah, you were here, Hannah. You should know. If you guys saw our most recent, well, I would have posted probably since you guys are listening to this, but our Yap Lids post, there's a really good song on it from Mad Libs Live, the musical.
Did you know that there's a Broadway show that's
Yes.
based around Mad Libs?
Yes, and they have songs, and it's like teen superstars, and they have journeys, and there's so many names, and they're going through all these things, and like it's an interactive one.
Yeah.
So like the story changes with what
Every
you
show.
have.
Yeah. Because
And
they
I
take...
looked up tickets, and there are none, and I'm dying. I'm
Because
so
we wanted
sad.
to go. Apparently, like they have the base like storyline, but then in every show that they do, they take words and implementation from the audience.
Yes.
So the story is different and the show is
Personalized
different
for you.
every time you see it.
And there's no tickets available, and I'm so
Mad
sad.
Libs Live is like sold out, man.
I'm so sad.
We want to see it.
I do. And the soundtrack, they have an album. It's a
Yeah.
banger.
It's a bop.
It's
Bop
a
after bop
banger.
after bop.
I'm telling you. So that reminded me improv. Like that'd be so fun to do too.
That would be fun.
To like be on that musical. If I could actually sing and have the creativity. If I could have the gift of being in that musical, I would.
If I had any kind of talent,
you know where I'd be.
You know where I'd be.
You know where I'd be.
I wouldn't try to shoot any higher than that. That's the ultimate
That's peak.
goal.
That's peak.
Literally peak.
Peak life right there.
So, here we are. I was trying to say that we have an actual topic to talk
Yes.
about today instead
Yes.
of improv.
Oh, that's so funny. You said improving, and then I took that too, improv. But yes, continue.
So I'm very excited. I have a lot to say. You have a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, I just had to check my earring.
You did that so abruptly too.
No, I did because someone told me at the gym that my earring was falling out, and it's because I lost the back mid-workout, and it's still in there.
Why didn't you? Oh,
I didn't find the back.
that's
So
real.
she's
Backs
just
are,
there.
like impossible.
She's
Once they're
hanging.
gone, they're
Yeah,
gone.
she's hanging on.
That was so funny. You just like were playing with one and then just
It
immediately,
just immediately like
reached for the
reminded
other.
me.
That's
Even
funny.
though I'm hoping that Mia would tell me if I only had one earring in.
Guess we'll never know.
I don't know is Mia a girl's girl. Find out next episode.
We'll see. You purposely only wear one earring. Next episode, see if I
I'm gonna purposely put something in my teeth.
Stop.
And see.
Okay, well I wouldn't say it on air though, so they wouldn't know. I'm not gonna wait and be like,
why? We do everything else.
Because I would have seen you before we started talking. Unless you like go in a corner over there before we hit record.
I will still be able to report if you did tell me I had something in my teeth.
That's true.
Or like,
because I like to think that I wouldn't go all the way until 3, 2, 1 recorder to be like, Hannah, you have a little something.
That's. Hey, we've had an entire conversation, but I'm waiting until this moment to out you,
so the people can know.
But we were talking because we do have like a topic to talk about that kind of encompasses a couple of different things.
Yes,
and it's kind of
than usual.
Yeah, but it's kind of cool because it includes some of my high tide and low tide. Big low tide.
Some of my high tide.
Includes some of your high tide.
Yes.
And it also like includes some current events. So it's all encompassed. It's all around. So it's kind of like not as structured episode because everything kind of like flows into this overall topic of sports that we're going to be talking about today. Both like different types of sports on the professional level, our opinions of some certain things. Some certain things that are going on. So I'm really excited though.
Me too.
I love talking sports.
Yes.
You love talking sports.
Yes. But before we get into it,
guys, slow down.
You have to, you can't just give them all the goods.
Pump the brakes.
Immediately. My head is like sunburned. It was a little sensitive when I just scratched it.
Don't give away my high tide, my low tide.
Okay, I just had a journey real quick. Okay. Who wants to go first? Should we do our high tides last because they lead into sports, like a transition moment, or should we do it like normal?
I mean, I feel like we just do it.
Let's
just do it.
So we start with our high tides.
Yeah.
Look at that. I'll catch up. That's
you
true.
Go first.
Okay. So my high tide, I like what we're doing too, because it's kind of like a part 2 of obviously last time. Like our high tides were like our anticipation of the upcoming weekends.
True. Yes, because
now
we told you guys.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. So now it's like a follow-up. So you guys can know. So my weekend, I went to Rock the Universe at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida, and it was so fun. I loved it. It was my first time at Universal.
So, oh my gosh, I forgot. I'm having all of these thoughts and questions popping into my head now about asking you certain stuff. First of all, you saw the Wicked stuff.
Yes.
And
we had the Wicked store. We had the Wicked store. That was actually crazy. It was like, it's like right when you first walked in, that's the first thing we did. We literally like scanned our tickets and the Wicked store was right there and we're like,
see, that would be a problem for me because then I'm like, I don't need to see the rest of the park.
Tell like I'm done now.
I'm sad. I'm good.
No, literally. It had all like the clothes and stuff in there, but I feel like there's no way they're real.
You don't think?
I don't know. I was just looking at it and I was like, why the heck would Universal have it? You know, like how did we get so lucky?
Studios thing. I
don't know.
They produced the movie.
Did they? Okay. Well then, if I would have enjoyed it, I was being a negative Nelly because I was like, there's no way this is real.
No way that's
I think I was in shock. Dress. I think I was in like denial because I was like, there's no way.
No, you were in the presence of Glinda's dress. That's crazy. That's crazy. No, but yeah, Universal Studios produced the movie. Have you seen it?
No. Hannah!
Are you open?
Yeah. It's just so long. I just haven't...
Okay, but like, can we please set a time?
Okay, perfect.
Because like, please don't see it with anybody else. I have it bought here. Like,
you have it bought?
Oh, girl, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
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 Okay,
and I got that new big TV.
Okay, that's so true.
It's literally...
We'll put it on the calendar.
We need to figure it out because...
I've seen like almost every clip like online because I'll just like go through rabbit hole again.
Okay.
But anyways, that was really cool. They had the Wicked store there. And, like a lot of Wicked things and like all the little whatever. They had like a Wicked pastries little area. That was cute. So that was really fun. One of the girls we went with, she got like a penny price. She got a little Glinda penny for her little collection. That was cutesy. Anyways, and then everything was great. And then I don't know if I told you or
Didn't tell me
the
anything.
podcast. I hate roller coasters.
Oh, you did mention that. That makes me
hate
sad.
roller coasters.
You give me roller coaster energy though.
That's crazy. No, but I hate roller coasters.
Why?
And then we get there, and the first thing everyone wants to do is ride the Mummy.
Oh, I haven't heard about that. Why do you hate roller coasters though?
I hate the feeling of my stomach dropping.
Oh, see, that gets me like excited.
That's what people say. I don't understand that.
It's not necessarily enjoyable, but I'm like, whoa.
No,
roller
like
coaster.
that makes me like, instead of like, oh my gosh, I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to die. Like it makes me like lightheaded. I want to pass out. Horrible. I hate it. So I know I hate it. I wish I liked them so bad. I literally was watching roller coasters.
fun.
I was like, everyone was so excited. I was like, I want this feeling so bad, but no, I hate it. And I always have. So I was literally going into this weekend. I was like trying to like think of every single like tactic to like resist peer pressure, to resist the FOMO. Like, don't go on any roller coasters because I knew I hated it. I knew I hated it. But we get there immediately. We go to the Wicked store and then they're like, the Mummy's right there. And then they're like, we gotta go on the Mummy. And so like I'm watching TikToks on the way there because I'm like, I like to mentally prepare. I was like, let me see, because I didn't know what the Mummy was. I didn't know it was a roller coaster. They were all lying to me. They're like, it's such a chill ride, da 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 da. So I'm like looking it up online. I'm like, you're lying to me because all these TikToks are like, when you didn't, like literally it's like a thing, like when your friends lied to you in the Mummy and like there's someone like on the floor like dying, like da da da. So I was like, okay, I'm not going on this. We're at the lockers putting our stuff in, and I'm telling them, I'm like, I'm not going. And then they're like, literally just go. And I was like, oh, okay, I did.
Yeah,
I went, I caved immediately. That's what's so funny. I literally went there and was like, okay, yep,
Wait,
I
so
can.
what was it? Or is your fear for roller
And Wummy
coasters-
also, by the way, this sounds like a really big deal. It's not even that bad. It just is for me. Like, it's not like some of the other roller coasters. Like, I know Universal's known for, like, thrill, insane roller coasters. This is, like, mild. Like, one of their more mild ones. I looked it up afterwards just so I could, like, be so proud of myself that I actually wrote that because, like, whatever.
Did you like it, though?
No, I hated it.
Oh.
I absolutely hated it. But it was really funny, though, because the first time, again, I don't ride roller coasters. So I was like this. Like, they have, like, the bar across you. So I'm, like, holding it. I have my head down. Worst idea in the world.
No, that's not good.
No, I literally
You need
almost
to put
died.
your head up and back.
I don't ride roller coasters. I didn't know that. I was scared.
It's going to make you feel so much more
It
sick.
was horrible.
Yeah.
Horrible. And, like, the force of, like, going forward...
Yes, it pushes you down.
Pushed
and
my
then
neck
you
down.
can't
So I was
get
like
your
feeling
neck
like
down.
claustrophobic, and I was like, "This is horrible." And then we stopped, and my neck hurt so bad afterwards. I was like, "That was the worst decision of my life." And I didn't see anything of the ride. I didn't even get to see the cool stuff because I was so like terrified. I did get to ride it again that night. We rode it twice.
You went on it again after that?
Mm-hmm.
Neil, why?
Because everyone else was.
Did you do the neck thing?
And then I literally started the ride, my hand on my head, and I was like, I'm keeping my neck back. Like, I'm not
Once you have your neck up, it'll stay up. It's just, but it's also like if you start with your neck down,
it's gonna stay down.
The G-force
So I
is
like
gonna
literally
keep
was
down.
like doing this. I just shouted Jesus the whole time because that's the only way I could get through it. Especially it's kind of creepy. You go in, it's like, I'm gonna steal your soul. I was like, rebuke, no thank you.
That's me going through haunted houses. I literally have to speak out loud.
I literally was
Jesus'
just going
name.
Jesus, and I was literally like mid roller coaster, like I had to take deep breaths, and it was horrible. And then like there's a bunch of stops, and everyone's like looking at me because they know I'm like dying, and I'm like, guys, I can't. I'm like going off. I'm literally like shaking horrible when I get off. Anyways, but I did it.
Okay,
Twice.
lucky though. If I was there, I would not have. I would have just made baby Mia don't go.
I know, but it's okay because I just felt proud of myself for doing it, and it wasn't that
For
bad.
sure,
It wasn't that bad.
You conquered a
I
fear.
did not do anything like crazy, like the Hulk. You're funny.
Oh, that one's That one's
You're funny. Velocicoaster, you're funny. I just knew like those.
I've been on the whole Hulk is fun.
Yeah,
I don't
no.
know if I got to ride the bull. I don't know if that one was either out or it might have been like broken the day that I
but
went.
that one's insane. Did not go on any of those because I don't think I physically could.
I've been on Hagrid's motorbike. That's fun.
Yes, that was another one where I was like iffy. They were trying to convince me that it wasn't as bad, and we didn't even going on it because the wait time was insane.
Yeah.
But I was just glad I didn't even have to think about that
Or
decision.
did I go on that one? Or there's like another Harry Potter one where you're
There's like a
on
million
broom.
Harry Potter ones.
Yeah.
We didn't go on that one. There's one that's literally like a haunted house. You're like strapped in, and it's like moving you all around. You like practically go upside down. It's horrible. Again, I didn't know what to expect, and so
Yeah.
then they just like, oh man, let's do it. And then once they has an overhead thing, I know I'm doomed. Once I know I'm screwed. I'm like, I literally was like, I'm freaking out, guys. But seeing the pictures was really fun too. Afterwards, because I'm dying in all of them.
That's so funny.
But no, so the rides are really fun. Honestly, it sounds really bad. We didn't actually watch many concerts because the rides, that's what we were doing. But we got to see some. We got to see like Brandon Lake,
That's
Elevation
cool.
Rhythm. I got to see my boy Josiah Queen.
Oh, nice.
This is my second time seeing him because we
That's
saw
cool.
him in concert like a week beforehand. So that was really
Oh,
fun.
yeah. I remember that.
So that was really, really cool. And then just Universal is amazing, and I want to pass
Did
immediately.
you try Butterbeer?
I tried Butterbeer. I tried Butterbeer. It's so
good.
It's so good. It was amazing.
Did you do frozen or regular?
Frozen. Everyone got frozen. I was just, letting people lead. One of the girls there, Kira, she has an annual pass, and she goes, like, every 2 weeks, so she knew everything. So it was really fun to go with her, because she was, like, had all of, like, the little tips and tricks and stuff. But we were able to ride a lot.
I'm sure, like, the lines had to be a little shorter with the concerts going on.
For sure. And, like, you're only...
They
closed the park to just walk the universe people.
Right.
So that immediately already makes the lines shorter, but then during the concerts, those people...
That's why I like to go to Busch Gardens during Howl-O-Scream, because I don't do the haunted houses. Mm-hmm. So the rides are a lot shorter. Like, there's still people that are riding, but there's way longer lines for the haunted houses than there are the rides.
No, real. But even Islands of Adventure, that was so cool. I got to see... Obviously, Marvel Land is so cool because I love Marvel. Yeah. But Dr. Seuss Land, I thought Marvel was going to be my favorite. I love Dr. Seuss. It like, awakened something within me. I literally had a Dr. Seuss birthday party. When I was 6. I wrote a song for Dr. Seuss, and I broke down when I found out he was dead. I hear he's racist now, which is not good, but I love him. I love his books, and literally entering that world, like, I was like my inner child, and I freaking
it's very adored it. Like, you look like you're walking through a storybook.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, the themes there was amazing. I've never seen Harry Potter, but like just going there, I was like, this is incredible. Yeah. So I just love it, and I want to go every day.
Did the dragon ever spit fire?
Yes, we waited for that. Even like Simpsons, I have no idea what Simpsons is, but that like area is so fun. It was just Toon Lagoon. Everything was just so fun. I'm just a sucker for a good theme, and I loved it.
I love that.
I loved it, and we didn't get home until super duper late Saturday. I literally slept through all my alarms Sunday. I was exhausted, but it was so fun, and I want to go back immediately.
Yawning. I told Mia right before we hit record, I was like hit with like a little wave of exhaustion.
Told her it was me talking about Mad Libs, the Mad Libs live musical.
But I'm tired because of my high tide. So as you guys know, if you listen to the last episode, I went to Miami this weekend. Yes. Or if you follow me, that's all I posted. I was blowing up.
I lived for it.
Thank you.
I love it. I think I was literally talking to Mel because she went, and we were just going through. I was like, no, she's living her best life right now. I love it. It's so
Mel texted me. She was like, I'm just living vicariously through your stories.
I love it.
It's so funny. So I went to Miami for Wadapalooza, and I'm not gonna lie, guys. Like, I feel like there's not very many times where you are so excited for something and it lives up to the hype.
Right.
I feel like so many times in my life, I don't have the best luck. And there's so many times where I get really excited for something, or like, like if you have like this like fun day planned with your friends, and like you have this like vision of like how it's going to go, and then like always something goes wrong.
Right. Like you hype it up too much.
Yes. And then like when life happens, it just dulls it for you and almost like bursts your bubble.
Yeah.
That did not happen. I was expecting a weekend full of fun, fitness, and friends, and that's exactly what I got.
3 Fs.
It was the 3 Fs. It was honestly like one of the best weekends of my life. And it's so sad because it's like, man, like I've gotten to travel to so many amazing places between Spain and Ireland and Bali, but like this was just so fun. And I think for me it's because, and I've talked about it when we've talked about travel in the past, where I do love to travel, but I also get very stressed with like far travel like that because of the flights and the coming back home and being jet lagged and like it's just taking so much time to prepare for everything.
Right.
But this was like a little staycation, and I don't know, it's almost like I feel like I got to travel, but like I got half of the amount of stress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Love that, yeah.
Because like it was in Miami.
You didn't have to go out of state, no out of country.
No, it was in Miami, which if you're not familiar with Florida, like St. Pete is on the other side of the coast. So you kind of have to like drive down, and then you have to drive across the state. So it's about like a 4 to 5 hour drive, depending on traffic is huge. But we drove down there. Again, we had our friend with us. And then what was even cool is like it was literally, I had said in the last podcast episode that like our hotel was a couple blocks away. Guys, I was wrong. It wasn't a couple blocks away. It was directly across the street.
Stop.
We were on Ocean Drive.
I love that.
On Ocean Drive. Like, you watch the Bad Boys movies, that we were there. Okay, I thought that we were like a couple blocks behind it. No, I was wrong.
Right there.
And like, don't get me wrong, our hotel was expensive, and like a lot of those buildings on Ocean Drive are very historic. Mm-hmm. So they're old. Mm-hmm. So like, our hotel, I'm not gonna lie, was not the most luxurious.
But you weren't spending much time in there anyway, right?
No. Yeah. That's why, like, when we got there, I was like, literally, who cares? Right. Because we're only in here to sleep and get ready in the morning, and then we were out the rest of the day. Yeah. But, like, obviously, I think just because of what we paid for and, like, the way that the pictures look in the building from the outside, we were expecting something a little bit nicer. But it was fine. And, like, we all, like, made it work. Like, we were all such good sports. Mm-hmm. I love, we're not, like, really complainers like that.
Yeah, like...
Which was nice. And, again, like, we were directly across the street from the venue. Like, we could even hear, like, if something would, like, if we, for whatever reason, left early and there was still something happening, like, we could still hear the announcers. Like, that's how close we were.
That's so nice.
Which was so nice because...
Were there more people in that hotel staying? Like, that went to the event, too?
I think so. I didn't run into, like, too many...
Okay, real.
To too many people. But I definitely saw... Like, there were It was so fun to me because, like, there were so many CrossFitters in Miami.
I love, like, staying at, like, a hotel right by an event because, like, everyone's there and you can, like, leave and, like, go home and, like... Or go home, but, like, go to the hotel and, like, you're surrounded by your people. You know, like,
I'm, like, walking around and I'm, like, looking around and I'm seeing all the CrossFit shoes, all the bags of, like, different CrossFit brands, and I'm like, these are my people. Because it's funny because, like, I dress like that in my normal day-to-day, but unless I'm at the gym, I don't see too many people just out in public, wearing the same kind of thing. So it was just really cool because I'm like, these are my people.
Yeah.
No, so our hotel was even closer. It was super nice. There was even, like, a nice little restaurant right downstairs. We went there for a couple nights, and, like, we got this, like, guy. He was an amazing waiter. He was, like, he gave us, like, half off on our bill. It was great. The food was really good, and we, like, walked to a local coffee shop in the morning.
Cute.
It was a couple blocks away. So, like, all of that just went so well. And going to the actual event, like, I can't explain it. It was everything that I hoped it would. Like, I literally, in the same day, was able to watch some of the biggest names in CrossFit, the people that I have, like, looked up to, that have inspired me, that have, like, been a part of this, like, especially for me, with the women specifically, like, that made me want to make my life better in terms of, like, and totally changing my relationship with food and my body and all of those things. And, like, so many of those women preach those messages or have gone through similar struggles that I have. And, like, they have been such inspirations for me. And so getting to see them in person, but then on the same day, an hour later, I'm going to see my friend do the same workout on the same stage. Is just the coolest thing ever. Like, again, I think I mentioned last time, like, most of the time those two things are separate. It's you're either going to see the elites or you're going to watch, like, your friends. It doesn't happen in the same place except for Wodapalooza, which is why it's literally a celebration of fitness.
So special.
It's celebrating that, wow, we have able bodies that can do these amazing things. Like, let's celebrate that.
Yeah.
And the elites they're not, like, in CrossFit game mode. They're there to have fun too, which I love.
Yeah.
And what I also thought was crazy is that so many of the athletes who competed as an individual also competed on a team. They did both.
That's insane.
So
like
the whole thing is 4 days long. Goodness. Thursday and Friday were the elite individuals. And Saturday and Sunday were the elite teams. So for the people that did individuals, their competition ended on Friday, and then their team competition started on Saturday.
That's insane.
And they did both. But it just goes to show, like, the ability, the capacity that these athletes have,
right,
and the ability to recover, because, like, this is nothing for them. Like, in terms of, like, workout load and capacity and stuff like that. Like,
how incredible their bodies are.
Yeah, like, at least I'm speaking for, like, the really big names that, like, go to the games. The games are, like, 5 days long, and they can have up to, like, 4 to 5 workouts a day.
That's insane.
Like, it's so much. And I mean, it varies, but, like, they're just, the capacity that their bodies have is just absolutely nuts to me.
Right.
So that was really cool. The mutual friend that I mentioned, Lily, was competing in elite individuals, she did amazing. There was like at least 40 individuals, and she finished in the top 20. Like, literally crushed it.
Amazing.
And there was the max lift that they had was for as heavy as you can go. You had 3 attempts to hit a power clean directly into a hang clean without putting the bar down.
Mm-hmm.
She did it 245 pounds.
Oh my gosh.
I'll have to show you the video I have of it. She got top 5 with the, like, she finished with the top elite women. It was absolutely crazy.
That's unreal.
Like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I know her. Like, I'm fangirling over her because she's so amazing. And it was so funny because on Saturday after her competition ended, I was like, I saw her and I was like, hey, like, you must be sore. Like, how are you feeling? And she literally goes, no, I'm not that sore. I'm kind of upset that I'm not training today. That just goes to show the level of these people. I'm like, how did you just
nonstop
do all of those workouts over the last 2 days and you're not even sore? Like, you want to be working out right now?
That's insane.
After a little local comp, I need like 2 days off.
Real.
Because my body is just wrecked. I can't. I'm just like, okay, like, you're literally an amazing, like, you're a different breed of human.
Oh my gosh, that's unreal.
It was so crazy. And then what was even crazier was I didn't realize, like, how many meet and greets there were. Guys, I got to meet so many people.
I saw that. That's so cool.
I got to meet Justin Medeiros, Dallin Pepper, Jason Hopper, Danielle Brandon, Haley Adams, Sydney Wells, like, I got to meet Andrew Hiller. Like, I met so many people that I look up to. And even the ones that I didn't meet, like, again, they're so chill at this company. Like, they're just walking around.
Right. It's not
and,
like
you turn and I'm like, oh my gosh, that was James Sprague, who was the fittest man on earth this year, who also won the elite individual competition this year. Just walking by casually. And then Haley Adams is just, like, on a stroll. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's Haley Adams. It was just... It was the coolest thing. It was, I can't. And then the amount of vendors, y'all. Part of my high tide, and then I'll just go right into my low tide.
Okay, perfect.
Is the amount of money that I spent.
That's hilarious.
The high tide is all the new merch and stuff that I bought that I'm so excited for. I mean, I got a lot of it, like, on sale, and then a lot of it was, like, Wodapalooza exclusive. When it comes to things that are limited edition, I'm a sucker.
No,
like, if you tell me I can only get it here... Right now, at this event, like, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
I'm going to get it. Right. No regrets.
No regrets.
You know what I'm saying? So, I was like, I have to get it. And then, like, on the last day, okay, here's how you do it. The first day is when you get all of the stuff that you really want, that you need to have. Mm-hmm. The last day is when all of the sales happen as they start to run out of stock and they're trying to get rid of everything that they brought to this event. Mm-hmm. So that's when you get all the stuff that you didn't need, but I'm like, oh, it's on sale. Okay? Yeah. Like, I bought like 8 pairs of sweatbands. I don't need 8. I already have like 8 pairs of sweatbands, but there was one brand that was doing buy one get one free. How could you not gonna do that?
Exactly.
How
you had to.
And then on top of that, not only that, it doesn't help that everything is Miami Vice coded because we're in Miami, and that pink and blue combo, I'm a sucker for it. Dude. Not only are those like 2 of like that shade of pink and that shade of blue are like my favorite shades of those individual colors, but then you put them together, it's like a little cotton candy. I can't help it. Yeah. I'm done. Like, sold. That's so like funny. And all of these brands are so smart, right? Because they're making all of this like Wodapalooza exclusive stuff in Wodapalooza colors. I'm done. Like, I have to I have to buy it.
Of course.
I literally
and
have to.
And now every time you use it, like, or people see you use it, like, you were at Wodapalooza.
I'm reminded of like the best weekend of my life.
The treat yourself weekend.
Treat myself. It was. I was like, knee sleeves. Treat yourself. Grips. Treat yourself. T-shirts. Treat yourself. Sweatshirts. Treat yourself. Everything. I wasn't saying no.
As you should.
And I'm paying for it quite literally now, but like, I don't regret it.
Exactly.
Like, it was literally a once in a lifetime.
I was about to say, it's a once in a lifetime opportunity. Like, take advantage.
And like, when I say once in a lifetime, like, I'm gonna go back. But like,
real. Would you ever compete?
So people ask me that because they were like, Hannah, you have to do this. Here's the thing. The thought of competing there, it's one of those events where I'm like, is it more fun to compete or spectate? Because as a spectator, I was living my best life.
Right.
Like, I don't think you guys understand. I was waking up at like 6, 7 a.m., getting ready, heading down there by like 8 to 8:30 in the morning to watch our boys from my gym compete. So I'm there from 8 a.m. We were there until 8 p.m. 12-hour days on my feet or sitting on bleachers, but most of the time I was standing and walking. I was getting like 13,000 steps a day, literally doing nothing but walking all day, standing all day, shopping all day, fitness all day. Like, and here's it, like, I love this sport so much. I can literally sit and just watch people that I don't know do a workout all day long. It's so entertaining for me.
That's enjoyable.
I love watching people do CrossFit. I love watching the different strategies that people apply to different workouts.
That's so
I
funny.
love people like, I love watching people like live their dream. Like being on that stage for some people was like they worked so hard to get there.
Right.
And like seeing some of these like men and women like finish first in their heat and like them just soaking in that moment. It's just,
Right.
I don't know. I just absolutely love it. So I was like, oh, like, I don't know. I think it would be so cool because the thing is you have to qualify to be there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, like the thought of doing like an online qualifier is really cool to me. But it's also like, dude, like the stage is huge. Like it's a big stage. And I'm
That's
like, it's scary.
It's intimidating. Yeah.
It's very intimidating. There's so much pressure. Like even when I'm like I feel like the biggest stage that I've been on was at the competition I did called Vanguard. That was in Lakeland, which was at the RP Funding Center. And like that one's not even that big. And I'm like, when you're out there, like you feel like just a beast, man. Like I'm like, I'm out on this stage, like people are about to watch me like exercise and do my thing. And it's really cool.
Like you in your element, yeah.
Yeah. And like there was one of the stages, like the lifting stage was fairly small. Like that was, I've lifted on a stage like that before, but like the two main, I mean like huge jumbo screens and 3 sets of bleachers and like it's just
Crazy.
like 20 lanes for people. It's just really, really, and like live streaming, like I'm being recorded, you know, it's just, so I'm like, man, like I want to be confident enough to do that. I don't have any desire to compete individually. I love doing it on a team. I know myself and my place in CrossFit. I'm never going far in this sport. That's not my goal. Like I'm not trying to get to the top level. I love this sport, so when I compete, I'm doing it for fun, and I just don't have. I want to be suffering with friends.
Right, you're not like enjoying it by yourself.
Yeah, and not as much anyway. And I love team style workouts. I think I do really well with them because those little bits of rest that you get, like fuel me back up to keep doing what I need to do. And like at Wodapalooza, you're doing team of 3. I've never done. Oh wait, I have done a team of 3. It's so much fun.
Right.
I think that would be if I could find a team to like do qualifiers with, and even if we didn't qualify, but we could claim a spot in the open division, which is like the bottom division. I think that would be so fun. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm not there yet as an athlete. I feel like I have some more growth to do, but I'm young, so I have time to get better and get stronger. But yeah, I do, because the standards here are so high.
Yeah.
Like at my gym, I can do an RX workout, but RX there is like games level type of weight and gymnastics. Like the standards are so high. So like the open bottom division, some of it is a little, I think I'm more of an intermediate there, but even some of the intermediate stuff I can't do. Like I'm in between. Like
Right,
I'm more advanced in the open, but there are some skills in the intermediate that I don't have either. But that's why you're on a team, so hopefully you have people that
balance it.
Yeah, that have different skill sets than you do. So I don't know. But no, I'm sorry. I don't mean to rant, but it was literally like, it was the best weekend of my life. It was so much fun. I got to meet my heroes, watch them. I got to support some of my closest people, and just literally live in my own little CrossFit bubble and buy so much CrossFit merch for like 4 days straight. The only low tide. There's 2. Number 1 was the weather the first half. There's 4 days. The first 2 days, y'all, it was so cold. And listen, I know I don't like the cold. I know I can be a little overly sensitive to the cold weather. But let me tell you how many layers I was wearing. Okay?
Walking through it.
So I had on a long sleeve, like, I don't know if it's like a dry fit, but it's tight, right? Like to keep you know, like a long sleeve, not like a cotton t-shirt, and like it's traps heat. A t-shirt over that, a hoodie over that, with leggings and long socks and my shoes. And I went out there and it was like 50 something degrees, which doesn't sound that bad, but there was zero sun. It was completely foggy and cloudy. Yeah, there was zero sun. We're on the actual beach. So the wind is howling. And it's also like low-key raining. It's like that mist rain.
Yeah.
Where like you don't feel like you're getting soaked, but like the ground
It's
and
wet.
the bleachers are wet.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not kidding. In all of those layers, which for Florida, that's a lot of layers.
No, for sure.
To wear a long sleeve, a t-shirt, and a hoodie on top of that, with leggings, long socks, like I would be sweating in that if I wore that, most of the time. I was physically shivering, I was like shaking, and I could not. I didn't know what to do. I had to buy sweatpants to wear over my leggings to like not catch hypothermia. Like I was getting to the point where I wasn't going to be able to do it. And it was like that for 2 days.
No, yeah.
For 2 days, I was completely bundled up. There was no sun. It was misty. Like I watched my friends, they had to do handstand walks on a wet floor.
That's insane.
They ended up changing it because of like a safety thing. But like they did it in freezing cold, wet ground. And I was like, that's nuts to me.
Wild.
And I told Vlad and our friend that went with us, like, it goes to show how much I love this stuff that I was willing to sit outside all day in the cold, bundled up like that. Because I 9 times, I don't care who argues or who disagrees. 10 out of 10 times, I would rather have the sun beating down on me and me sweating.
That's so funny.
Than to be like literally I'm shivering and I'm already wearing so many layers and there's nothing else I can do but just to sit there and shiver. I even had the hot hands thing and it wasn't helping.
Yeah.
Like
it gets in your bones.
Oh,
yeah.
I also had a beanie on.
Yeah.
Also had a beanie. So I had my beanie on with my hair down as like a scarf with my hoodie over my beanie. Like my long sleeves pulled all the way over my hands. I wish I had brought gloves. Like it was that cold.
No, honestly.
And I was walking around and like there are people from all over doing this competition, people from up north, and like they weren't prepared. They were like, this isn't Miami. I was like, I've never been this cold in Florida before. Like in that many layers. Like normally if I put on like a hoodie and leggings, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But the fact that I was wearing like 2 to 3 layers between up top and bottom, and I was still like convulsing. I was shivering so bad. Not fun. The next 2 days though, the sun came out. It got to like 70, and when the sun was out, it was beautiful. The wind died. Gorgeous weather.
Yeah.
And then I got burnt.
Two opposites.
I got burnt on the only places of my body that were exposed, which were my forehead, because that was the day when I knew it was going to be warmer. I didn't wear a beanie because I was like, I'm going to sweat. And my neck. I literally have half of a farmer's tan.
That's so funny.
I sent me the pictures and like you saw how red it was.
It was really
and
red.
like look, it's already like kind of mostly faded.
Yeah.
To a brown tan.
Which I also told Hannah I was pissed about. I remember when I literally had the sunburn on the side of my face and it was there for over a week, but whatever.
Red for over a week.
Red for over a week.
My forehead also got burnt and my face just looks brown.
Yeah, so love that.
And my neck looks brown.
Love.
So
no, I said, but she looks like summer. Like for such a cold weekend, I literally walked in. I was like, "You look like golden."
tan.
Yeah.
My legs didn't really get much, but my arms did,
Yeah.
and my face and my neck did. But yeah, I haven't been in the sun in so long. I was like, my body was like, oh my gosh,
You're soaking it up.
soaking it up.
That's so funny.
But sorry, that was so long. It's on the theme with
such an important
sports.
event, yeah.
Yeah, it was literally like the best weekend of my life.
I love.
So yeah.
Girl. No, I love the cold, and I was obviously in Miami. The weather was a little different because it was even sunny, like at Universal. But like I was.
Yeah, I don't know how
shivering.
Orlando was because Miami was warmer than it was.
Yeah.
Here
It
in
was-
St. Pete, it was bad.
No, yeah.
I'm low-key glad I wasn't here in St. Pete for it.
Yeah.
Granted, I wasn't outside
It
on
was
the
like
beach
40,
all day.
50, yeah,
But
at Universal.
still, yeah.
But during the day it was beautiful because you had the sun. But the minute it turned nighttime and we were going on roller coasters with the wind,
Dude, there's no way.
I was done.
There's no way.
I was done. My teeth were chattering, and my layers. I was wearing like a. this doesn't really matter, but I was like wearing a tank top, long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, and a jacket. Like it was, and I was cold. And I wish I brought a beanie or something because my little ears are cold and my little face, and it was horrible. But no, I actually enjoyed it. I enjoy feeling cold though. It just makes me feel like wintry, fresh. I don't know. I feel better.
The only benefit to the cold weather was that my makeup stayed
That's what I'm saying.
on.
I just like when I feel sweaty,
all
I
day.
feel like ugly gross. Like I feel like I just feel like more confident
most
cold. I don't know.
most of the time I feel like a glowy goddess.
No, I feel just like
Unless
don't
I'm
get me.
wearing makeup. If I'm wearing makeup, that's the only time where the
Oh,
heat and
the
I
heat.
don't, because I get oily and I get sweaty and
Right.
whatever. But in the cold, my makeup stays like
That's what I'm saying, same.
it did not budge. That's
is so
literally
nice.
the only benefit.
Yeah.
That's it.
I love. But no, my low tide. Considering this weekend, great weekend until we got to the Airbnb that we stayed in that night, which is fine. Great Airbnb, good times, whatever. We were literally just there to sleep, get ready, and dip. But the room we were in, it was me and 3 other girls. So there was 2 bunk beds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, you know? And then 2 of the girls were like, oh, I called bottom bunk. Pfft, rude, but whatever. I didn't call it first. So I was like, yeah, you can have bottom
You
bunk.
don't like top bunk?
No. I knew I didn't just because I don't like getting up and down. Like, I just... it's
I
not-
feel like
it's not
as
vibe.
kids, you always wanted the top bunk.
No, real. But I was like, whatever, I don't care. I didn't care that much, to be honest, at the time. Until I got up on the top bunk. Hannah, this was the squeakiest, loudest... I wish I recorded it. It was the noisiest bed ever. It was the hardest mattress. It was literally like that.
Oh, see, I like that.
Hardest mattress, no, it was horrible. And then I didn't bring any blankets or anything. This was one night. It was like a kid's room, so it was like this thin Mickey Mouse comforter that
You
barely did anything, and it was so cold.
You
So
didn't
I was
bring a
like,
blanket when it was that cold?
no, because I was like, you're gonna have
Girl,
a
I would have
blanket.
brought like my whole own
And
comforter.
I didn't want to. No, but I was like, it's only for one night. I don't want to be like that person that brings like 4 bags. So I was like, it's fine. I'll be fine. And I was like moving, and I was like having horrible cramps that night. It was just horrible. So I was like moving to like comfort myself, and it was just the loudest thing in the world. It was horrible. And like even the girl, like she's trying to make, she's like, can you not move so much? I'm like, I'm literally trying. Like it's waking me up. I woke me up like every 5 minutes because it was that loud, and I couldn't.
I hate that.
And I'm
That
pretty
would
sure
be-
there was a dog in the attic or something, an animal, because I literally was hearing like, and like scratches, and I was like, and we had a giant. Like, I think we were used to be the garage or something, the room we were in, because it was, like, through the laundry room, and we have this giant, like, attic entry, and I was like, if there's, like, someone up there, he's gonna come in and murder me, and I was just overthinking, and it was horrible, and I slept, I think, maybe 3 hours that night before a day where we would literally be, I just looked, I got, like, over 20,000 steps. I was like, it was horrible.
Jeez, 20,000.
It was absolutely insane. But that was my low tide, that I just slept horribly and had to sleep on the, like, creakiest.
Yeah, that sucks. I hate the thought of like inconveniencing or waking up other people.
That was horrible too, though, because like
Yeah.
I would like literally like cringe every time because I was like, I knew
Yeah.
I'm waking them up, and the next morning I was like, you guys didn't hear me, right? They're like, I was like, no, lie to me,
But
literally
like,
lie
what
to
else
me.
are you supposed to do? Not
That's
move?
what I'm saying. I was like, I have nowhere else to sleep. Even the couches were taken by other people, so it was like I
Yeah.
could like, I'm not sleeping on the floor, even though honestly it would have been better with how hard that mattress is.
So
But
funny.
it was awful. Random things, but that's my low tide. I forgot a high tide.
Oh.
My sports related high tide that I literally said.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well then should we save it for after the manor?
That's what I was gonna bring. Okay,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe
yeah.
we'll save it.
Yeah, I think we
Let's
should
do like
save
a
it.
delayed high tide.
The
Okay.
only other thing that we want to do before the manna is we have a little update, which
Yes.
this is probably going to be something, as long as there's updates, that we're going to do until this whole debacle is over. But we have a Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively update
that you guys need.
for any
We're
of
here for
those
you.
that are following along. So because I'm
Ruth.
always getting it. Yeah, Ruth.
Real.
I'm always getting like I'm always diving. I'm always trying to figure out what else is going on because
Yes.
since Justin announced that he is countersuing, like.
There's just
Things have stalled out slightly.
Mm-hmm.
But, so here's the tea. As we've already said in the past, Justin is suing back, I mean, basically for defamation. Very similar to the Amber Heard, Johnny Depp thing, right? And he's basically saying that the claims that, Blake is making they're bogus. And he's specifically suing the paper that she did this from because he's like, you just ran with this story and these photos have been tampered with and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so he's been dropping all the receipts. everything. He's like, you want to accuse me? He's like, I'm just
funny.
gonna, like,
Yeah.
literally. And you know what else speaks volumes? He's been out living his life.
Right.
Like, he's been out with his family and with his kids.
Like, he's that confident.
He's had people coming up to him and asking him questions, and he's like, I'm just here just trying to enjoy the day with my family. I'm like, that doesn't scream guilty to me.
That's what I'm saying.
That screams a man
comfortable.
with a, with a clear conscience.
Yeah.
That you're not, his comments on Instagram, they're not turned off.
Right.
Blake's are, though.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, this is a man who is confident that he knows that he has done nothing wrong.
Right.
And he is giving us all of the evidence to prove so. So one of those things was that, I can't remember specifically what Blake said, but she was saying that there was a scene that they filmed together where there was no audio necessary. So she didn't think that they were recording audio. And that it was just a visual capture of this slow dancing scene for like a B-roll moment in the movie. And they're slow dancing, and she said that he was acting like out of character and telling her that she smelled good and being like kind of creepy, and that she felt uncomfortable. Well, Justin decided to release that footage because they did in fact record the audio. And they were like, he was acting physically as his character. So that's why he's all over her, because they're together in the movie.
Right.
But they're speaking as Justin and Blake, not Lily and Ryle. So the characters in the movie. So he's talking, and they clearly had previous conversations. And he was like, oh, like, I hope I'm not getting like beard all over you, like, because he has like scruff. He's like, I hope I'm not getting like my beard all over you. And she's laughing and like enjoying, throwing her head back. And she goes, no, it's okay, like I have spray tan on me and it doesn't smell good. And he goes, no, like, he was like, it does smell good. She's like, oh, well, it's the body makeup. That's where the smell good comment came from.
Yeah.
He was literally responding to something that she said.
Yeah.
It's not like he just was coming up to her and sniffing her and be like, you smell so good.
Yeah.
So, and anyway, so then she was trying to, like, her legal team or her PR team, whoever, was trying to say that by him...
In that video, wasn't she saying that he needed, like, a nose job or something, too?
I didn't hear that.
Oh, at the end, because, he was like, oh, is my nose in the way or whatever. And she's like, oh, it's not too late. Like, I got you. I can send you a doctor or something.
Oh, no, I didn't see that.
Which isn't really anything, but still weird.
But so her legal or PR team was basically like, Justin just proved himself guilty with that video. Like, they tried to, like, get it to backlash against him, and everything is just backfiring against them, because they're like, no, it doesn't. Like, what do you mean? And some people are trying to say, like, she looks physically uncomfortable. And I'm like, they're in physical character.
Yeah.
They were recording for the movie. She didn't think that they were recording audio. So she made up her version of the story, never expecting anyone to have actually heard the conversation that happened. Yeah. But when in fact they did record the audio, so Justin released it. Again, if he felt like he really did something wrong, why would he release that?
Yeah. Like, he would be a little more secretive, a little more private.
Or he just wouldn't have released it.
Right.
Very, very simple. And so there's that whole situation. But then there's been a lot of stuff coming out from different sources. I know Candace Owens has now been talking about it, which I'm kind of confused. I don't know when she started getting so into mainstream,
like, pop culture
stuff. I had always known her as a political figure.
Same.
But I guess she's getting more into pop culture, and some of the stuff that she says with pop culture, I'm not always a big, Candace Owens I can be 50-50 on. But I do agree with all the stuff that she's been talking about with them, because she has been posting on her story saying that, like, she's gotten from an insider source of someone who worked on set. It's like she was, and I know, like, with someone like Candace who is so experienced with the media and especially things like politics, I don't think she's going to reveal any source information unless she has verified that this is in fact a real source.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, validates it.
And apparently this person was saying, like, the real villain in this story is not Blake. It's not Justin. It's Ryan Reynolds. And basically saying that, going along with the theory that Blake caught feelings,
Yes.
And Ryan
Which, yeah,
figured it
getting
out.
More of a
And so that's when he
Backing.
started coming on set and being really controlling and starting taking over writing some of the scenes and like kind of like Blake has still done her own things that have blown this up, you know, but I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of it is actually Ryan pulling the strings from behind, and him being super jealous,
right,
and worried about his wife cheating on him with someone that she caught feelings for on set. That's so ironic, Ryan. And I wonder if you're worried about that because you did that to your ex-wife. And I know that Scarlett Johansson is just sitting with a cup of tea, just
watching it unfold.
Watch it with a little smile on her face. She's like, "Oh, you're worried? You're worried that your spouse might cheat on you with the person that they worked on a movie with?"
That's crazy.
Wild how that can happen. And it was interesting because so much more stuff about like the script in the Deadpool movie, him attacking Justin, and that makes sense. And then even like one of the press interviews for that it ends with this movie where Ryan Reynolds like funnily, I put that in air quotes, took over an interview with the guy that played Alice in the movie, and like I remember thinking like, why is Ryan Reynolds here? Like this is not your movie. Here?
Yeah.
Like
the fact that he got more screen time in like the premiere than Justin Baldoni.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you're not a producer on this movie. You're not a screenwriter on this movie.
Who are you?
Why are you here? And so a lot of people are starting to put the puzzle pieces together that he's been the one that's wanting to do all this to take Justin down out of jealousy. And don't get me wrong, obviously, if Blake really wanted to fight against it, like, I feel like maybe she could. I don't know. And I guess the media team that dropped Justin, it's come out from another trusted source that Ryan basically blackmailed them and said, it's either him or us. You either lose Justin Baldoni or you lose me
Blake Lively.
and Blake Lively, and also the godmother of our children, who's Taylor Swift. So just name dropping. So of course they dropped Justin.
'Cause, yeah.
And was just doing anything to use his power to hurt Justin's reputation.
Dang.
Every bit of information that comes out, I just like them less.
It's so unfortunate though, because it was just.
I used to love
I
them,
know.
Mel. Like I used to be a huge, like every time like the Met Gala came on and like she was like with her different dresses, like I was
iconic, yeah.
Yeah, like I grew up like in high school watching Gossip Girl, and like I just thought she was iconic. Like I loved their marriage and their relationship. I was like, oh, one of the few Hollywood couples that are like
seems genuine.
Yeah, and I mean to be honest, I do think that they genuinely love each other. I really do.
Right.
Clearly, because he's going a little crazy.
He's crashing out right now.
And like, but what's interesting is like, I'm just curious. I wish that there was someone we can interview that's like knows what it's like to act on
We
movies.
just get Justin Baldoni on the podcast, honestly.
But like, is it not what the territory? I'm not saying like, you know, to be full on leaving your partner and cheating on your spouse. But, like, does it not come with the territory when you're acting that, like, you might develop a little bit of a crush on your co-star? I mean, how...
Like, being that intimate...
How do you not?
I could never
like,
marry an
which
actor.
is why I could never do that.
I could never.
Like, I could not watch a movie and see my husband, like, kiss another woman or something like that. That's, like... that's crazy. And especially when two people, which, you know, they obviously are gonna... cast actors that have chemistry together, so you know that there's some level of physical attraction.
Right.
There has to be.
Right.
If you're not attracted, like, you're not that good of an actor. Like, you have to be, you know, compatible. And, like, when you're working for hours every day.
You're always together,
you're always together.
Pushed, doing press, people are asking you about each other. Yeah.
And, like, you're, like, forced to do these really intimate scenes. I'm not saying, like, you know, to go off and leave them, you know, but I feel like developing a crush would be pretty likely or normal, and then once the movie is done, like,
especially something Ryan Reynolds would understand,
right?
Yeah.
And like, I mean, both of them are actors. They both have been there, and I mean, Blake has dated almost every single co-star that she's ever been with on some type of set of TV or movie alike, and you know, Ryan Reynolds obviously had a very similar situation. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know, man. If you're that uncomfortable with it, like that's the world that you chose to be in. I don't know.
Yeah.
And like, obviously I get not wanting your wife to leave you for someone else, but Justin's made it pretty clear that he's in it with his wife and his family. And he's able to like maintain that, I think, more of like a mental barrier of like, this is work and that's real life. And the moment that the movie is done, like, I'm sure that bubble kind of bursts, right? Because you're not spending every day with that person,
right,
or whatever. But like, I don't know, I was just curious about that, because I'm like, why are you acting like, I don't know, like this does not sketchy. Come with the territory. Yeah. I don't know. But anyway, we wanted to give a little bit of an update on that, because everything that I hear, I'm going to be updating until this.
I was going to say, we'll continue to talk about this. And then when it goes to court, it'll continue from there. We'll be live streaming
full episodes, but
yeah.
It's going to be a long episode.
Speaking of full episodes.
We were like, this one might not be as long. Mia, do you know us?
I was about to say, but after this weekend, how could you not?
There was too much going on.
There's too much. Speaking of nothing related to this, I was literally just about to go into the meat. But before that, very importantly, the manna. So we were talking about, obviously, the topic of this episode earlier. You guys read the name of the episode. You guys are here with us. Sports. And, you might be thinking, are they going to do a really, a big stretch on attaching this to a spiritual aspect? And probably. But I want to read in 1 Corinthians 12 first, and then we'll just go from there, because I think this is just such a good little passage. So starting in verse, it's a little bit longer, but I'll just start in verse 12. 1 Corinthians 12. It says, just as a body, though one, has many parts, but all its many parts form one body, so it is with Christ. For we were all baptized by one Spirit, so as to form one body, whether Jews or Gentiles, slave or free, and we were all given the one Spirit to drink. Even so, the body is not made up of one part, but of many. And then it goes into, I don't know if I'm going to read all of it, but then if I just skip to verse 18, so it's talking about the different body parts. Like, how can the ear tell the foot, like, oh, I don't need you? How can the head tell the eye, like, oh, I don't need you, But it says, but in fact, God has placed the parts in the body, every one of them, just as he wanted them to be. Because if they're all one part, where would the body be? As it is, there are many parts, but one body. And then again, it just goes into the eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you, So I'll skip again to verse 25. So I really recommend, honestly, just reading all 1 Corinthians 12, because it talks about it a lot. And I don't mean to just skim through. But just relating back to everything we're saying, isn't just made up like la la la. We are getting it from scripture. So verse 25, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. Because if one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it. Now you are the body of Christ, and each one of you is a part of it. So when we think about sports, obviously, most of the sports that me and Hannah are going to be talking about, the ones that we're interested in, the ones that we enjoy watching, playing, whatever, are team related. And when you think of a team, you gotta have some togetherness. So we wanted to kind of relate that to, like, this passage of scripture is talking about being a part of a body, being part of a, for the point of that we're making, a part of a team that is for the Lord, So despite even, there's so many athletes there that'll even talk about it, but despite being on, like, an earthly team, whatever, if you do, like, sports, if you play them, whatever, that's just almost like a glimpse. That together, that, like, unity, that diversity in a team, that even, like you were talking about before, like, having different strengths and weaknesses, balancing each other out, supporting each other, being there, lifting each other up. That's just an earthly glimpse of what it means to be in, like, the body of Christ, to be in the kingdom of God, having such different skill sets. If you even look at the church, it's such a beautiful example of so many people are able to serve in different ways, whether it is, more manual labor, like people that really work on the church, or there's people that are serving in, like, the kids ministry on stage. There are just so many different parts and so many different things people can do to help, to serve, and to be a part of that team. And then even outside of the church, when you're just going out and, loving on people as Christ did, there are so many different ways you can love people, so many different areas that other people aren't able to reach, because there's not one person living the exact same life as you that gets to go to the same work as you, gets to go to the same school as you, gets to go to the same friend groups. There's just so many different opportunities for you to work differently than others in this quote unquote team, in this kingdom of God. And I just think it's so special that God has given us each a different part to work together so beautifully.
Yeah.
And that how he relates it to the body, which he created, and how we need everything.
Yeah.
And it might seem differently. It might seem like, oh, the eye's more important because it can see. But, you need a random organ in there that I probably don't even know the name of just as much, that you might not think of. Because they all work together and they all are
necessary.
There's a unity and a community and a oneness there.
Yeah.
That, again, I just think sports, again, it sounds so silly and it sounds like a stretch that we're putting these together, but when you see them on the field, on the ice, whatever the sport is, that togetherness, how they're working, how they're planning, how they're organized, how they're moving and whatever. It's just like a reminder of how much greater the kingdom of God is, it is truly just like a snippet of how God's vision for, his people are, how for them to, organize and quote unquote win,
Yeah.
And then I think it's really cool too. I don't know if I brought it up before, but when you are in the kingdom of God, there's this mission. You are just trying to serve the Lord and live for him, love God, love people. But it's so much better if we relate it to sports, if you're playing sports, you want to win. But we are fighting this battle. We are, working with this kingdom, working with this church, knowing we've already won. So how much better is it to play, again, if I'm just relating it, how much better is it to work and serve and to just live a life for God, knowing that you're not doing it, because I have to win. But
right.
You already won. You get to fight a battle that you already have victory over.
Yeah.
You get to play a game, whatever, that you've already won. So now you can just
enjoy it. Yeah.
And again, I just think it's so cool how something so silly like sports, so something just like a whatever, when we get to heaven, no one's even, maybe they have sports in heaven. There's that one song where it's touchdown, big house, whatever. But it relates to something so much bigger.
Right. Imagine how dysfunctional, on a football team if everyone wanted to be the quarterback.
Right.
It doesn't work,
right.
The quarterback needs his O-line to protect him, and he every single position has a very specific and important job to do.
Yeah.
And, there's obviously, there's team sports and there's individual, but, when we're talking about team, it's you have to know and be confident in the gifts that God has given you to play the role that you were designed to play well. Right? So, and I get that it's hard because, the quarterback gets a lot of the glory. Mm-hmm. They get, the most.
They're the top name, Oh,
for sure.
Sold, yeah.
And, and maybe if you are, an offensive lineman, you don't feel as important. But,
right.
If you're not built either physically in a sport like that or with the skills to be a quarterback, but you have amazing skills as a offensive lineman, I think there's such an important message to that of, I need to focus on the skills and the talents and the gifts that God has given me and apply them to how they're meant to be used instead of looking at, well, God, I want the skills that you gave them.
That seems better, yeah.
I want the talent that you gave them.
I think we give more weight to certain skills than others when it is all has an importance, right?
Right. And it's literally a football team cannot be solid without a good offensive line. Right. You are so drastically important.
Or a good defense, yeah.
Right, and ultimately, we don't do it for the glory. At least we shouldn't. So
that's a real humbling fact too. Is that you want to have the skill set that is on stage or that is getting the praise and the acknowledgement.
Right.
But that's not what we're doing it for.
Right.
So if you are doing something that is more behind the scenes, I guess, that just knowing that it's for the Lord is good enough. Or should be good enough and satisfactory.
Audience of one, baby. Audience of one. I love it. But no, I honestly think the manna ties in super well.
Right.
But you have your the high tide, but also ties into our sports topic.
I want to share, guys. I am so excited. By the time this episode releases, I would have already been and had the best time of my life. But tomorrow night, I am going to a Lightning game. Not just where? I was gonna say not just a Lightning game. I have box seats.
Box.
Club seats. For the Lightning Blackhawks game.
What a game.
I know. It's really cool, too, though, because Josh, my brother-in-law, he's going. He was a Blackhawks. I think he's very much a Lightning fan now, but
He jumped shit.
I know.
Why was he a Blackhawks fan?
Because he's from Chicago.
Then he needs to stay with his dang team. Josh, get your
But
life
we got
together.
here and whatever.
No,
But-
that bandwagon. No.
So, anyways, he wanted to specifically go to a Black Sox game because he's like, it's my two teams, whatever.
No.
I know. But anyways, I'm so stoked
That's so fun.
for that. It was a Christmas gift. I was telling Hannah, like, it was so cute. Obviously my brother-in-law and my sister got it for me and my dad. They're all going, but it was for obviously Christmas. And so they did this whole thing where it's almost like a scavenger hunt type vibe on Christmas.
Yeah.
We opened up like this gift and it was like covered in like plastic wrap, and you had to like unravel it, and there's like little gifts throughout it, and then we get to the middle and it's like, okay, go to like, you know, my nephew's room. So we go there and there's like, lift up this box thing, lift it up there, there's a bunch of balloons, like pop the balloons, and then the balloon said, oh, look here, and then we saw our tickets, a giant printed ticket, and it's finally here. And I still haven't planned my outfit, and I still have lots to prepare mentally because it's gonna be the greatest time of my life, and I have to just get ready for that. Like, I don't even know.
I need to see a fit pic.
Dude, I'll probably post it. I'll do a little drip.
I need the be
drip
real.
check.
I need be real to go off during the game.
If it doesn't, I'm gonna sue. And we're gonna be there. Literally, we're so funny. We're like, whatever the moment you're allowed in, we're getting our every drop out of that boxy. We're gonna like the moment we can sit down, we're sitting down, and then
I love that
going
for you
from there.
guys.
So I'm so excited.
I'm so
Even
excited
though-
for you.
Yeah, Lightning aren't like killing it this year. I think they're like
I know, I feel like
sixth
I
in their
haven't really
division
heard you talk about hockey that much.
because they're pretty like just mid right now.
Yeah, because
So-
I told you like I want to learn more about hockey. Like I know a decent amount of in terms of the actual gameplay and how all of that works, but in terms of how the season is laid out, I get very confused because it's such a long season.
It's very similar to basketball. They're both both sports have 82 games, which is
crazy.
insane. It's literally almost every other day.
Like I don't know.
Which is insane for hockey to be almost every other day with how physically demanding.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're literally like running into each other.
That's what
fighting.
I don't understand. I've
Dude,
always stood on the fact that
I've-
I think hockey players are some of the most impressive athletes.
insane.
I don't know how they do it. And definitely some of the grittiest, toughest athletes. The only people I
telling
can
you.
think of that maybe are more so would be like something like rugby.
Right.
But I'm like, are they playing as many games though? I don't know anything about rugby,
It'll
but
blow my mind every time. But yeah, so they play a lot of games. So then it's hard too because it's not like
you can't watch every single
exactly.
one.
And then there will be like ruts. So they'll have like I think they're like a losing game streak, but then they could kill it completely next month and then be able to make playoffs, you know, because there are so many that it's a roller coaster. But yeah, I don't know. So,
I think I get lost like because I don't even see like when the season starts. Mm-hmm. So like
'Cause
I
there's,
didn't
like,
even
preseason
know
games,
I didn't even know that it was back, and I was like, oh man, like I kind of missed my moment.
yeah, no. So it's very similar to basketball. So I think it's like the fall. Preseason's usually like October, and then they start it up. November, September, that somewhere around there. It's different every year, and then goes until playoffs. So it's like more summer. And if the Lightning don't make the playoffs, I'm gonna cry because you guys were even here for the last year when I would go to like the playoff. I mean, Hannah went to a playoff watch party.
Yeah, that'd be so fun if we got to do that again.
I know. So, whatever. But I'm really excited for tomorrow night.
I can't
really
wait, dude. I
excited.
want all the updates.
We get to see Bedard, who was the number one rookie last season, and we like watching him because I feel like he's the first player where I'm like I can actually follow his career. You know,
That's cool.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
like I would follow up with him when he was in the minor leagues.
Wow.
Because he was insane. People like he was the prospect. Like he was, if you guys know
Okay.
basketball, like he was the Wemby of NHL. So like we were watching him, knowing him, and then we got to see his first season, and now we're actually going to see him live.
Dude,
playing for the
how cool is
Blackhawks.
that?
So it's just all like funsies.
Do you think the Lightning is not doing as well because Stamkos isn't there?
I don't know.
Like their first
the
year without
question.
him
I
in
know.
so long. And
I
now
know
they're not
it's their new captain after like I think it was 18 years or something insane.
That's wild.
It disgusts
I
me.
mean, I feel like
that
I
they
feel
got
like
rid of him.
even if
and
you know,
Stamkos isn't doing as well in Nashville, where he is now.
but I'm wondering though if it's like a team unity thing. You know, like some of these guys played with him
for years.
And like they, you know, you can't beat team like bonding like that where you can just they have
a bunch of new players too, like
so I feel like maybe it's just like genuinely,
I think there's maybe like 5 at most of players from when they had their back-to-back Stanley Cups. Like they completely it's
probably a rebuilding season, and like it's gonna just take time under the belt to get that team unity where like you can learn each other really well and read each other really well, because like hockey is so fast paced, like you have to be in sync with each other. So maybe they just need some time to get their bearings, more time on the ice together, and maybe next year it'll improve. I don't know.
No, it's hard to even complain though, because we did have such a good run. You know, Lightning were like Tampa.
The bubble has to
has to
pop eventually.
And we're not being bandwagons, so I'm gonna stick with them. They could.
I'm proud of you for that, because there's nothing that irritates me more than a bandwagon, which is so funny with our topic today of sports. Because Mia, what's coming up soon?
Yes, guys, this is the Monday right before Super Bowl Sunday.
So by the time the next episode comes out,
football game. The game. Isn't that like a thing that you can't say Super Bowl on TV shows? You have to like pay money, so they always go like the big game.
Is that a thing? I didn't know that.
I'm looking it up.
Well, on How I Met Your Mother, they talked about the Super Bowl, so
I think you have to pay to use like that name.
That's crazy. That's one of the funniest How I Met Your Mother episodes.
I'm looking it up right now. Or commercials. Like commercials during it, they'll be like, oh, are you watching the big game? Like you can't say Super Bowl.
Huh. I never put that together.
The NFL considers any commercial activity that uses the term Super Bowl to be in violation. Don't underestimate how seriously they take this. In the past, they haven't hesitated to send cease and desist letters to businesses and even churches who use their name to promote events and services using that name. Whoa. No commercials in TV cannot say Super Bowl without the NFL's permission. The NFL considers any use to be an end of the term Super Bowl and advertising to be a violation of its trademark rights.
That's wild.
It says they've also trademarked other phrases related to the game, such as Super Sunday and Game Day.
Okay, how do you trademark Game Day? What if I'm not talking about football?
Dude, I'm telling
you. Game Day. Super Bowl.
That's what I'm saying. I'm scared. I feel like an email's going to come. Can you imagine?
They're going to come from ATC.
Yeah. But literally, it says that if you watch TV ads and like TV in general, they always say like the big game or the big event or like the game. And like just hope that you get what they're putting down.
No.
But isn't that crazy?
That is, I never knew that. It makes sense. I was like, why do they always the big game?
I know.
But sometimes they weren't always talking about football, so I just never really
put two and two together.
Thought much about it.
Pretty crazy. Same thing with like happy birthdays. Don't you have to like pay to sing happy birthday on TV?
Pay who?
I don't know. Maybe I should make this up soon too. 1 second.
I'm blown away, you guys. Not the happy birthday song being a trademark. Who created the happy birthday song? Where did it come from? Where did it go? But no, just the topic of bandwagons in sports has always been one of my biggest pet peeves. Just because I find it very...
Sorry. TV says the only way you can sing happy birthday is if the copyright owner grants permission and the appropriate royalties are paid.
To who?
Warner Music Group. There's a license fee. Says, for example, filmmaker Steve James paid $5,000 to use this song in the 1994, so this is still a while ago, documentary, Hoop Dreams. So you just have to pay money to sing happy birthday. People are greedy.
We live in such a greedy world. I'm telling you.
It's not that good of a song. But anyways.
I find the topic of bandwagons in sports, it's just so ingenuine to me. I don't know. Like, I've always considered myself a very loyal person, right? And like the idea of a bandwagon is the opposite of that. It's the opposite of loyalty. Like if you only care about a team when they're winning, like that to me, I'm like, can you sustain like a long-term relationship? Because like
when things get rough,
you're just gonna leave. When the butterflies like fade away after however many months or a year or whatever, you're just gonna dip out and look for the next thrill, the next exciting thing. And there are people that operate that way. I am just not one of them. Like, I am a stick by your side, loyal to the day I die kind of person. For my people, for my teams, for everything.
Right.
And I'm also a very stubborn person. Like, I believe in what I believe in.
I love.
Again, like I've said, I am open-minded. But there are certain things that are non-negotiables for me that you cannot budge me on.
Right.
Like, not to bring up your example, but, like, I don't give in to peer pressure like that.
Oh, real.
Like, if I don't want to go
honestly, this was a moment, like, my parents are disappointed in me because I grew up going to the fair, like, whatever. I would never, no one could convince me. But
they're like,
it all went downhill. No, literally.
And I get the FOMO. I have been convinced. The only time I've been peer pressured into doing something is, like, if someone wants me to do a comp with them and I wasn't planning on it. But it wasn't, like, a hard no. It was like, no, I'm not really planning on it.
It wasn't like you're like, no, definitely not. And
right, and then someone asked me and I'm like, oh, like, okay, that sounds fun. Or, like, I didn't want to do, like, not even, like, I didn't want to do it. Like, someone could easily talk me into a workout that I wasn't planning on doing. But, like,
but that's also not something you'd be against. It wasn't like,
right.
Yeah.
But if there's something that, like, I am not about, like, you can't get me to do it.
That's real.
And, like, I don't know. I'm always very, very stubborn with that stuff. So the topic of bandwagon, especially as someone who's a Dallas Cowboys fan, when we're going to be talking about the NFL a lot here, they have never been good in my lifetime. The Cowboys' glory days ended when I was born. Might say something about me.
That might, are you the problem?
Like, in the 90s, like, the early 90s,
a little suspicious.
Like, we were America's team. That was our thing. And growing up, we've never been great. We've always been good enough to make it to the first round of the playoffs, and then we get booted out. With the exception...
It's like the Maple Leafs of, in the NHL.
Yeah. And then, like, the exception was not this past season, the season before that, where we did win a playoff game, but then we lose in the second round. So it's just... We don't make it far enough. There was such a long period of time where we were just good enough. We were either, like, first or second seed in our division. And so we weren't bad enough to, like, where they were going to fire our coach or scrap the whole board and start over from scratch. But then we weren't moving. We were just stagnant. And now it's just gone downhill.
Right.
Now we've completely traded places with Washington. We are now right above the bottom. New York is still worse than we are, but we're right above them. And then now it's Philly and Washington on top. But I still love my boys to the day I die. Whedon Boys, America's team, like, Cowboys fan. Like, that's never going to change. And we've literally never been good. I've never seen us go to a conference like, championship game.
Yeah.
I've never seen my team even have a chance of going to the Super Bowl.
And
like,
here the Chiefs are.
And then there's the Chiefs. And here's the thing.
I saw a TikTok today that pissed me off.
Oh, tell me.
It was this girl. She was like, oh, I just started like watching football because of Travis Kelce, and now the Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl 30 times in a row. Like, no one told me how fun this was.
I need a moment.
She was like, just like literally smiling. It was like one of those pictures, and she was like, why didn't anyone tell me sooner, like, how fun this was? Like, my team has gone to the Super Bowl 3 times in a row since I've like Travis Kelce.
My team. That. I need a minute.
It cracked me up.
I need a minute. I saw something very similar to that today, where it was like, just thinking of the Swifties that have jumped on the bandwagon
and
of the
have
Chiefs,
not experienced
and
any.
they've only experienced going to the Super Bowl and winning. And oh my god, this is so fun. I bet it is.
No, literally, like, they've
I bet
had
it is.
nothing but
when you picked like the best team in the league at the time.
Success, yeah.
Because the pop star is dating
the tight end, yeah.
And then you guys just keep winning and you're amazing and you just buy all the merch and it's so fun and everyone's talking about you. I'm so happy. I'm not bitter at all. And I'll admit it, like, I am biased. I am bitter about it. But like, I feel like there's justification behind it. When you have and I don't want to come off as like a hater, but like,
it's our podcast.
I'm
a
sorry,
hater.
like a little bit.
I'm a hater. I'm very much a Chiefs hater.
I am a Chiefs hater. I don't want to come off as like a woman hater.
Oh, sorry. We're on 2 different wavelengths. Okay, go.
I'm openly Chiefs hater. I'm unashamed about
Okay,
that.
bet.
But I don't want to come off as like anti-feminist when I say this. As a woman, I am a woman, so whatever.
So we get
like literally whatever.
Little slack.
And I'm not even like, I don't even like hate Taylor Swift. Like her music's fine.
It's fine.
Some of them are bops. I've just never been like a Swiftie. I've never been a Swiftie. I don't dislike her. I'm just neutral. Like she just doesn't. She doesn't do it for me the way that she does it for other people.
Right.
And to be honest, unpopular opinion, I think like talent wise, like it's mid. She's not some crazy vocalist. And I think
there is a lot of talent, especially in like her lyrics and how successful and how far she has, the brand she has made.
Yes.
Give credit where credit's due. But I would agree that it seems like if you lined up, like especially just the vocals or something with some other artists, there is a differential.
Like she obviously has amazing stage presence, the creativity behind her shows.
Right.
And as a lyricist.
Yes.
Like the lyrics and her writing her own
agree.
songs and the amount how hard she's worked and has hustled for, all of that. Respect.
Right.
Respect where respect is due. Mm-hmm. But as a vocalist, as a dancer, as like that just raw talent, I'm just not all that impressed by it, to be honest. And I don't know, maybe it's because like I'm a big Broadway girly and I'm listening to some of the most talented vocalists do this live. Mm-hmm. Like they're not in a like recording studio where if they mess up, they can do it again. Obviously they make recording studio versions for like Spotify, but like they're out on that stage performing live for like 8 shows a week. Like
it's just a different,
it's just different, and like that it's just not the same for me. And like again, I'm not saying that Taylor Swift is bad. It's just not like mind blowing to me. But again, like respect where respect is due. But again, I don't want to be a woman hater, but like I want more women to be into sports.
I agree.
I want more women to watch.
I don't want it
football.
To be like a surprise if a girl likes sports.
Yes, because we talked about how when we joined our fantasy football team, and one of the guys was like, "I'm sorry, I've literally never done this with women before." And it was so funny to me.
And I wanted to kill myself because I almost got last and didn't prove anyone wrong. So that actually pains me. I don't want to talk about it. But no, I agree. Like I don't want it to be a surprise if someone likes sports. I also something I hate, like just liking sports or liking guy dominated like topics in general, is if you do, like I feel like if a guy says like, oh yeah, I like football, not a question, like let's watch the game. If a girl likes football, whatever, they're like, okay, literally name every single player that's ever been on your team.
Trivia.
Yes, they're like, you have to earn your way to like it. If you're a guy, you could just barely watch a game once. You're fine. Literally join the game. What the frick?
I feel that way.
Pisses me off.
That has happened to me so many times in my life.
Same with like Marvel and stuff too.
Yes.
I can't.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And it's like, when it's male dominated things, and like as a woman, if I'm like, like I'm into football, name every year that you guys want, like, and I'm like,
what I'm saying, like,
who was your quarterback in 1975? Like, and I
don't know a lot of things, but like, why can't I just like the sport? Because if I was a guy, you literally wouldn't think twice. If anything, I would be above average in knowing sports for most guys, and it doesn't mean anything.
No, I swear, it's like and you know where I struggle too. It's like I'm not good with names. In any capacity.
No, real.
Okay? But then I'm like, you want me to memorize every team's roster?
Yes.
I'm like, bro,
yes.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
They have. Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I don't know the name of every defensive player on my team. I just don't. I don't.
You're not a real fan, Hannah.
You're not apparently not.
Yeah.
And then on top of it, where it's like, you know what else I'm really bad at? I'm not good at recognizing football players outside of uniform.
That's fair. I think
I'm
that's
not good at it. Unless it's like someone like very like like a Patrick Mahomes where he's got.
And if you think about it, there's so many of them. There's so many football players. Yeah.
And I'm only ever seeing them like with helmets and gear on, and then like someone will like show me a picture of someone's face, and I'm like,
you don't know that? Yeah.
I'm like, unless they are a starter on my team, I'm probably not going to recognize, or a starter on like another very well known team. Like I can recognize Jalen Hurts, or like Patrick Mahomes, like
big quarterbacks.
But like besides that, especially because a lot of the times like the quarterbacks are in like commercials, You know what I mean?
Like,
so like I see them,
like we were talking about earlier. They are like the top, like
Yes.
they're the name.
Yes,
Yeah.
they're the brand.
Written down. Exactly.
right? You know, so yeah, there's just like
But
I
that's
do
normal.
hate that.
I feel like that's normal to not know all of that. But
guys will never let you live that down.
No,
like
and
they want you.
that's not even like they won't do that to other guys.
No,
If another guy's like, oh yeah, like let's watch the game, bet
They
like
don't-
you probably already know everything.
Yeah.
Like they just assume.
And you know what's
but
so-
it's assumed that you don't.
And
if
you
you're
know
a girl.
what's so funny is that there are times where I'm sitting in a room watching like a football game, and it's mostly like men, and I have comments I want to say, but I second guess myself so much because I'm surrounded by men,
That's
and I'm
so
like,
true.
what if I'm
Same.
saying something that's wrong, and then I'm gonna get
I would never
made
live this
fun
down.
of, and then someone else will say what I'm thinking out loud, and I'm like, I should have said it, or I'll hear a man say a comment, and I'm thinking, what are you talking about, like they'll say like
it's not even thought
the,
twice. They're just like,
the
oh,
wrong
dude,
penalty or whatever it may be, and I'm like, that you're just wrong, but no one will say anything to
You just
them.
have to earn your. I feel
You
like I'm constantly
definitely
trying
have
to
to earn.
earn.
You have to prove
like,
yourself.
Exactly. I'm constantly trying to earn like the name of just being a fan. Like
Yes.
just being able to like sports.
So my point is like I do want more women to not feel as intimidated and to enjoy the sport and be able to understand it. And I understand to a degree using the power of Taylor Swift to do that, but the way that it's been done and to the degree that it's been done, I am not a fan, because it's only like, and I guess it's fair, like they're all Kansas City fans, but again, I wonder how differently this would play out if Kansas City wasn't good.
Right.
Would you still be having fun? Because
Right.
I'll tell you something, I still watch my boys every season knowing that we're probably going to suck.
Right.
And and not to say that that's always fun all the time, but I always enjoy the game, of football.
Because you like the game, not winning. Yeah.
Right. It's not just about winning. There's so much
obviously
more
like
of that.
winning.
Yeah.
You're right.
And that's not why I watch. And or hear me out with the whole bandwagon thing. I'm like, if Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce were to break up, which to be honest, I don't really know if that's going to happen at this point. They seem deep
I know.
into it. Like I'm sure there are some big ties that are there in terms of their relationship.
For sure.
But if they were to break up, would you still be a Kansas City fan?
Right.
If they weren't good, would you still be a Kansas City fan? If Travis Kelce retires, which he's like 35, he's
It'll be
old for a
soon,
tight
yeah.
end, especially for a position that takes hits. Like that's getting up there. I'm like, are you still gonna be a fan? Or the moment that they're done, or the moment that Travis Kelce is done, or let's say like no one is injury proof. Like in the one moment of a game, Patrick
course.
Mahomes can get, because he's a runner too. He gets out of the pocket. He could easily get hit, and his career is done. Same with Travis. He could get a bad hit and easily be done. And I mean, Travis is a much bigger guy than Mahomes is, but like, still, I'm like, are you still going to be a fan? Mm-hmm. When they start sucking, when this Chiefs bubble pops, which it inevitably will,
yeah.
are you still going to be there?
Right.
Are you still going to be there? Because if not, then like none of this has been real, and you've been watching just simply for the entertainment of your favorite pop star dating, and then like you're like bragging about how good
I was
your
gonna say,
team
which is fine, whatever. If you just want to watch for that,
I don't
that's
care.
fine.
But
Do your
like,
own thing,
stop
but don't make it
bragging.
exactly. Don't make it a like, oh, this is my team. You
Yes.
like talk crap
Like, you
about it.
say
Like
it's
you
your
actually
team,
aren't even. Yes,
and,
that's
like,
what
you
makes me
have-
mad because you can do whatever you want,
Right.
but don't make it my problem. That
But you have like
are
no
bandwagon.
connection to this team besides the fact that the colors are pretty and they're winning. And ooh, Taylor Swift. I'm sorry, I can't. It drives me nuts. I don't care if that makes me a hater. I'll be a hater then. I can't stand it. It is so unbelievably frustrating to me. And it was the same reason, one of the biggest reasons, I never really had beef with Tampa Bay. Back before they were really good and they were no one, I didn't have any issues with them.
But after the Tampa Bay year,
But after the Tampa Bay year, simply because I'm like, where were all the... I've lived in Tampa Bay my entire life.
right?
Where were all of these fans
yeah, that's fair.
before Tom Brady joined the team? Mm-hmm. And you know what's funny is I don't see as many
was about
Patriots
to say,
fans
yeah.
now that Tom Brady's not there. That stuff drives me
And there
nuts.
were a lot less Tampa fans when Tom Brady left.
When he left, yes.
I just went to a Bucs game recently. The amount of Brady jerseys is crazy for
Yes.
him just playing two
And
seasons.
you know what's funny is like I'm not even as annoyed by Tampa now because Tom Brady's not there. So I'm not seeing as much of the bandwagon. But like, so obviously there's like, you know, the little bit of bitterness of like, oh, like they're, you know, they're doing really well, whatever.
Of course, you're always gonna hate the winning team.
It's just,
it's a thing.
If it's not your team, like you're obviously annoyed because it's not yours.
Obviously.
But it's more so the fact that, number one, I'm not a Tom Brady fan to begin with, so there's that. But it was the same thing, like, I'm just seeing all of these people who are all of a sudden huge Tampa fans, and I'm like, you're just following Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. And you know what? Mahomes and Kelsey are the new Gronk and Brady. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same kind of very similar friendship duo kind of moment where like they seem to go together
the tight
everywhere.
End, the quarterback, yeah.
It's just giving the same kind of energy to me. And both Gronk and like Kelsey give me both like lovable idiots.
That's real. Like nothing behind those eyes.
Nothing
I love
behind.
Gronk, so I can't even. He's my favorite.
No, he's definitely Gronk he's a cool dude. He's a funny guy.
I love Gronkowski. But no, I agree.
I have nothing
it's
against
very
Gronk.
Similar.
He's funny, but it is very similar. And like, I don't know,
the brains and the bronze.
Literally. So like that whole moment frustrated the absolute crap out of me for the same reasons, because I'm sitting here loyal to my death of my team. Like, that is my team. And I didn't just pick Dallas back when they were in the, you know, the 90s or the 80s and they were actually good and they were winning. Like, I grew up with this team because my mom grew up with this team, and that's what she grew up watching, and her grandfather was from Dallas, and so she became a Dallas fan, and I grew up watching her be a Dallas fan, and I you know, hooked onto it. Same thing, like my little brother, he's not from Philly, but my dad's family is from Philly, and so my brother grew up being a Philly fan because of my dad. Like, we have actual connections. Like, my brother is not a Philly fan because they're good right now. I have seen him stick by his team in the trenches, because there was also so many years where Philly was not it, you know, and we had the big rivalry because we were like the top two, you know, and then New York had their moment for a little bit or whatever, but like, you know, when they got ODJ at the first time, or OBJ the first time, and like when Manning was their quarterback and they had some glory days, but you know, I'm so, guys, this Super Bowl is not ideal for me.
Not ideal. This is horrible.
This is literally the worst case scenario for me, absolutely, especially horrible. As a Dallas fan, to see Philly go. And I've had to come to terms with this, and listen, please don't hold this against me. Like, I do not like Philly. I can't stand Philly. And I can't stand Kansas City. That whole that's
what I'm saying.
Everything.
This is horrible.
It's literally horrible. However, I can swallow my pride enough to admit that Philly at least earned their spot. Y'all listen to me. Listen to me.
Anger I see right now.
Philly earned their spot to go to the Super Bowl. I can be mad about that. I can be bitter about that. But ultimately, they outplayed Washington. Washington wasn't up to snuff. They have a rookie quarterback.
Respect for that.
Like, Jalen Hurts is more experienced. And ultimately, they choked. They didn't play well. Philly earned their spot. I can respect that. I might hate it,
that's what I'm saying.
But I respect it.
You can give credit where
it's due. Okay? But I do not think that Kansas City has earned their spot to the Super Bowl. I'm not saying that they didn't deserve to make it to the playoffs and that they haven't been obviously they're a good team. Mm-hmm. But I do not think that they truly I do not think they truly beat the Bills. And I will die on that hill to the day I die. The amount of times I have rewatched some of these absolute bogus calls about these refs are 100% putting the ball way shorter. He got the first down.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, he got that first down.
That game was rough. The whole second half was
absolutely bogus.
Twisted. Yeah.
Like, there was, I think, at least 2 calls where it was very clear. It was the call right before the tush push with Josh Allen getting the first down. It was right before that. I think there was 3rd and 3. He threw it to the receiver. He ran. The ball was on the line. It was on the first down line.
First down.
And the ref came out and moved it back and said, no, you didn't get it. And it was like 4th and inches or 4th and 1, whatever it was. So they do a tush push. You see Josh Allen make it past.
Yeah.
And move past the line. And then they moved it back and they said that he didn't get it. That right there was a pivotal moment of the game. They would have scored on that next drive.
No, for sure.
They would have
Like,
scored.
a game was too close for it to just be
like when it's
making decisions.
right. Like
that.
if it was a game like Philly,
Same thing with even the last Super Bowl with Kansas. Like the calls they
Yes.
were making, like for the Super Bowl, like
Absolutely
that
nuts.
little
Yes.
is insane.
And that's the thing is like it's like, oh, it's only 1 or 2 calls. No.
Yeah.
Because when it's a game, especially that close, if it was a Philly and Commanders game, again, I don't believe in just in blatant favorism to make bad calls to begin with. But like it was like 23-40. It was they won. Like
Yes,
there was
it wasn't
big,
like a.
if they had gotten
agreed.
that one touchdown, things would be different. If the Bills had gotten to
Like,
score on that
give
drive,
them, yeah,
they genuinely could
the
be going to the
opportunity
Super
that
Bowl
they
right
won.
now.
Oh, that
So not
actually
only short calls back to back on that, where you can and you know what there's no excuse for in it is because of the technology we have today. We have cameras
right.
from every freaking angle going in slow
every angle.
motion.
There's like sensors everywhere.
to
Like,
be able to see if they made it or not, and we can literally see that they made it.
like you can't really lie to us.
But if
Gaslight us.
every ref is gonna go
You can't.
along with the same crap, what are you supposed to do? There's nothing to do.
Bro, if I was a Bills fan or
I
even
would-
Josh Allen himself,
That would be the only time where I would think throwing a Tom Brady level tantrum, like breaking my eye or punching my TV screen, would genuinely be valid. I would have a really hard time not punching a wall. I would give them full credit to be violent. I'm just,
no, yeah.
and then the catch in air quotes by Worthy, not a catch.
Dude.
Watch the replay. He never had possession of the ball. He never showed control of the ball, and then when he went down to the ground, the ball hit the
left,
ground.
yeah.
So
that's
not
his
only did
possession.
he never show control and true possession of the ball, but the ball hit the ground. And the fact that you can very clearly see that in the replay, and they called that a catch. These are game-changing calls.
That's what I'm saying. To be making them all willy-nilly when you can literally see they're different. No, I'm telling you.
You can't tell me that that's not blatant cheating.
No, honestly.
And I don't know who's initiating it. I'm not going to sit here and say it's freaking Patrick. I'm sure it honestly probably goes above him. Maybe he's involved in some way, shape, or
Whoever
form.
makes it so you can't say the Super Bowl, I'm sure it's the same person responsible.
But I'm sure there are higher ups. Like it was absolutely rigged. 100%.
I'm telling you, when I was watching the Eagles Commanders game, when the ref was threatening to just give the Eagles a point when I don't know who the heck it was when he was jumping into the
yes.
lineup. I was saying, like, dude, if the refs were gonna do, could have easily done that. To
Also,
the Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised
The fact that
if they just gave him the score.
There was a clip where Travis Kelce was visibly taunting one of the other players. They didn't say anything about
the
it.
other way.
He was taunting for a while, and I'm like, how is it that he can do that? But some of the other teams,
Dude.
when they score a touchdown, they can't even do a dance.
Dude, the game that I went to, the Bucks game, literally he did like a normal celebration, a gun, whatever,
Yeah.
like whatever.
They got
They got penalized for taunting. I was like, what the heck?
Yes.
What the heck?
But like Travis Kelce was like dancing and like literally like it was true taunting. Like literally, and like even one of his teammates like put his hand on his back and was like,
dude,
"Let's go,
calm
man!"
down.
Before like you start a fight or something like that. Nothing.
Nothing.
Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's.
Like, and I'm not even a Bills fan, so I don't
same.
have that much.
But
footing
I was
in
just
this.
a fan of whoever wasn't the Chiefs. Honestly.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
And honestly, I respect the Bills. I respect the heck out of Josh Allen and what he's done this season.
That's what makes it worse though.
No, it does.
He deserved a spot.
Yes, he did.
he's not there.
He earned his spot, and he was, especially not only when they're playing in Kansas City too. There was no chance that they
That's
were
what
going to
I'm
let
saying.
them win. No chance.
That's what makes it
And
so
it's gut wrenching.
revolting. Yeah.
Truly gut wrenching. And like, and even with Bills fans, like I have friends that are Bills fans. Those people are loyal to their team.
The Bills
Those
Mafia?
are the people that when their stadium is snowed in, they are there with shovels. Shoveling out the snow to sit in a blizzard to watch their boys play. Like
They're committed.
I get emotional thinking about it. One of my friends, her dad has been a Bills fan his whole life, and like his health isn't really doing great. Like this was his time to see his team go to the Super Bowl, and he was so excited. And they got freaking rigged because of the chance of a three-peat, because of the amount of money that the Chiefs are bringing in via Taylor Swift and the Travis Kelce, all of that bull crap, because they're making money.
They're greedy.
And I'm telling you, I've even seen people that are like, honestly, it's to the point now where the NFL is becoming more like WWE, where it's full-on scripted. And like, and my brother, who he knows that I can't stand Philly, and even I was talking to him about it today, and, you know, he was like, no, like, we're not going back there to lose again. Jalen is going to get his ring. Like, we are going to stomp on the Chiefs. We're going to save America, which is crazy. He's like, we're going to save America, and we're not going to let the Chiefs get a three-peat and make history. Like, we're going to stop them. And I'm like, bud, I really hope you're right. But I'm letting you know right now, if this script has been written, there is no amount of good playing you can do if these refs are blatantly going to make calls that are game-changing calls. One after one after one after one.
Dude.
In the conversation we've had, that's four, either three of them were just bad calls, and then one of them was the lack of a flag being thrown for taunting. Mm-hmm. So that's four right there. And obviously taunting isn't a game-changing call, but the other three were.
No, for sure.
The other three were.
And it's just at that point, like, that's just, like, I don't understand how the refs could sleep at night. You know what I'm saying? Like, because, like, looking at a taunting call,
pile
like,
of money.
I'm telling you, but, like, seeing that many people that actually saw, like, Travis Kelce taunting and stuff, like, how can you just say, oh, I didn't see that?
And my thing is, like, I think the taunting penalty is stupid. I personally, like, I like a little bit of smash.
No, for real.
Like,
grow
trash
up.
talk.
Y'all are all grown.
I think specifically, like, obviously, if you're trying to start a fight and you're instigating, that's different. But also, the fact that it applies to their touchdown celebrations.
I watch hockey. When they literally, like, fight on ice. I don't. Yeah.
Like,
they're grown men.
The fact that they can't do a touchdown celebration to celebrate the fact that they scored without getting a taunting penalty is so sensitive and soft to me. The fines that people
have gotten for celebrations and stuff, it's ridiculous.
It's very stupid to me. However, I think, like, what Travis was doing, I was like, that was genuine taunting to me. Like, I'm not saying that there shouldn't be a taunting call. I'm just saying I think they've gotten so soft with it to the fact that it applies to touchdown celebrations. Whatever.
No, it
but,
was
like,
just...
It's just, but the fact is that it is a rule, and they didn't apply it. Whether or not you agree with the rule is a different conversation, but it is a rule that has been so heavily applied to every other team. I'm pretty sure, because I started to, like, we were driving on the way home from Miami when the game was going on, so we were watching it in the car and listening to it, and I was like, it was really late. We had been up all day, so I was kind of, like, dozing in and out. But I'm almost positive, correct me if I'm wrong, in the first half, not a single flag was thrown against Kansas City. I'm almost positive on that.
Yeah, I mean...
There was multiple thrown for the Bills.
For sure.
But I don't think a single flag was thrown for Kansas City. And the thing is like, if you're just a good team who plays well to the standards to avoid flags, that's awesome. But I don't trust it if it's Kansas City.
Yeah.
Because I just don't trust
I think
these
there
refs.
may have been at least one. But no, I agree. It's just rough to... It ruins the fun, you know what I'm saying? Like, of true sports competition, you know? Like, watching football, knowing that, like, there's something going on.
It's
like,
not true.
It's not even... Real. Yeah, exactly. Like...
I saw today there was a stat that Kansas City gets 90% less penalties than their opponents. 90%.
Yeah, like, that's ridiculous.
So, anyway, that's my 2 cents on the situation.
Okay, now we got that post
if you're
that I've seen that you reposted is funny, where it was like, who's rooting for the Super Bowl? You got Kansas City, barely. Taylor Swift fans, whatever. You got Philly, and then everyone else is just wishing for a meteor strike. Yeah, like that's it. The amount of people trying to boycott the Super Bowl, my dad's pissed. He's like, I'm not watching that.
I've been gone back. I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna sit down and watch it intently. I'll pop up when Kendrick Lamar does squabble up, and then I'm like dipping out again.
Yeah.
Because again, it really is like a lose-lose situation for me. But I think, like, gun to my head, if I had to choose, I'm gonna want the team that I think earned their spot, and that's Philly. As much as that.
I was gonna say that's
literally
more painful
hurts
for you
my
than
soul.
Me, but yeah.
Like, that's how much I'm frustrated with this. Like, I want the Kansas City bubble to pop so I can see how many of these fans are real. Honestly. So, I mean, again, if you're a true Kansas City fan, like, you know, you've been a fan for a very long time.
Happy for you.
I'm not happy for you, but, like, I respect you at least that you're not a bandwagon. And I'm sure that you guys are blind to everything that's going on because it's your team and you're happy.
Whatever.
And whatever. It is what it is. I'm just saying, if it happens again with another team, y'all better not say anything. That's all I'm going to say. You better just stay quiet when this happens again, when whoever becomes the next Kansas City. That's all I'm going to say.
Patriots, now it's Kansas City.
Yeah.
Who's next?
Who's next?
Who's next?
So, yeah, because we saw the Patriots and how they fell from grace.
Dude.
I mean, like they back to back, you know, they had so many Super Bowls. They also had cheating allegations and everything, and then
it really is a very similar, like almost copy and paste. Yeah.
Yeah. The script's been written before. It's just tweaked a little bit.
They got a little not creative, but no.
Those are just my thoughts. But we'll see when the game happens. We'll update about what happens.
Do you think Travis is gonna propose to Taylor if they win?
Dear God, I hope not.
Have you seen that? People like literally making bets on stuff like that. Like how
are we not?
They're gonna react.
Are we not watching this for the freaking sport of football?
Hannah, I have news to break to you. Some people are not.
I just can't. I'm like, just go away. If you're not really here for the heart of the game, leave. Like, I honestly, like, I just kind of wish that they had their own little, like, reality show, like a Keeping Up with the Kardashians thing.
Oh, real?
You know, Keeping Up with...
That's all they care about,
Taylor Swift. And, like, if that's all you care about, like, give them the content where they want it.
Right.
Because, like, this is driving me nuts. Like, can we keep it separate from my football? Because it's infiltrating, and I don't like it. Like, I'm not mad that you guys are fans of her and their relationship.
But I do, like, hope that there are people out there, though, that, like, have... like suddenly love football, and you know, that like may have entered in through that, but like have grown to love it. Like I love that.
I agree. And my whole thing is like if you're wanting to get into the sport of football and you're from America, again, this doesn't apply to our international peeps, and you're from America, like please just pick the team that's closest to where like you if you have no connection to any team.
Picking a random team, unless it obviously you have a connection, whatever. I agree.
Correct. Like unless you have some kind of connection of someone in your family who's from there or is a fan of there, or like just pick wherever you were born and grew up. Like for me, like
I love that though, because again, you have the community. I loved Tampa Bay. Being able to just go everywhere when we had the Super Bowl, because the Super Bowl was in Tampa. We had this NFL experience here. I literally could just like, we went down to Tampa. Everyone was stoked. Like just having like other fans, like why wouldn't you want to be a fan of your city, you know?
Yeah. So you know, just pick wherever the heck you're from. If you're brand new to the sport and you want to get into it, just do that, because it really shouldn't matter whether or not the team is good or not. Like, you know, like if I had not grown up with the connection through my mom to Dallas and I grew up and I wanted to get into football, I would have picked Tampa because that's where I'm from.
Right.
But I grew up with a stronger connection to Dallas because that's my mom's team and that's now what I am. But, you know, just if that's what you're like, that Vlad is a perfect example. Thank you, Vlad. Amazing example.
Thank you, Vlad.
So he's Eastern European, he's Ukrainian, so he grew up watching football. His whole life. He never got into American football until we started dating. He didn't get into it. He didn't really understand it, like whatever, but he knew that I was a big football girl. My family was really into football. So then he got into it. And the moment like he chose his team, he chose Seattle because that's where he was born.
Real.
That's where he chose. I'm like, he could have chosen Tampa. And you know what? I'm almost like maybe it was before their Tampa Bay moment. But, like, he could have chose Tampa because this is where he was raised. But he wanted to choose... He felt that you go with where you were born.
Okay, fair enough.
And so he chose Seattle.
Yeah.
And, like, Seattle was a decent team at the time. But, like, they haven't really been doing all that much. Like, they were okay this year. But, like, they haven't really been doing all that much. And, like, that man is stuck by his team. He chose where... Like, he got into it older, new. Chose where he was from. And he has not wavered from them. Regardless of the fact of whether or not they've won. Mm-hmm. But be like Vlad.
Be like Vlad. That's what ATC wants to convey to everyone.
I think this might be the longest episode we've ever recorded.
I agree.
And we thought it was going to be a short one. We are chumps.
Don't we just crack ourselves up?
Ha 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 ha. Ha ha ha. But I hope you guys have liked this sports talk. We're basically coming for ESPN.
They are definitely shaking their boots right now. I think NFL is going to reach out to us because we did say Super Bowl so many times. And they're threatened.
They're threatened. No, it's definitely a ratings issue. No one's going to be watching.
Taking people are going to be listening to ATC instead of watching the Super Bowl. Absolutely. And I think they're mad about it.
And I think you should listen to us instead of the Super Bowl.
I agree.
Because like, what's everybody doing?
Who are you going to cheer for? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, what's everyone doing February 9th now that our nights opened up, that the Bills lost and the Commanders
5:30 p.m. CST, whatever time. What are we doing?
So anyway, guys, can't wait to update.
That is true. You'll get a part 2.
We'll see if
Of
we have any
all of the
Lively
cheating.
Baldoni updates too.
We have a lot of updates. I feel like it's almost like a
No, like we've been going
new
on like a little
segments,
series.
yeah.
It's so fun, like the little updates. I love it.
It's so fun.
Anyway, you guys, have a good night.
Let you go. See y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.